Hello everyone, welcome to the episode 64 of SoLeadSaturday. The guest we have today, Roshaan Khan. He is one of the top public speakers in Pakistan, ranked into the top 50 debaters, and has won more than 10 national business and debating competitions. He has management and analytics experience in multiple industries, including banking, foods, and consulting. In the past, he has worked for the largest human resource management consulting firm in the world, Mercer. Currently, he is an analytics consultant, providing expertise as a data analyst to the organization. Also, a Tableau featured author, he routinely creates and posts Tableau visualizations, which gain millions of views worldwide, as well as recognition from the top organizations such as TikTok, Google, and Bank of America. He is the number one Tableau ranked author in Pakistan and the first one in the country to be awarded Whiz of the Day for his recent Google Trends visualization that went viral. Wow, definitely he is one of those who is in his early young age and leading his area of interest. So I can't wait to hear more from him, as well as we are going to have his demonstration on the his most recently published Google Trends visualization, which went viral. We are going to have a quick demonstration of that as well. So let's just welcome him. Hey, hello Roshan. Very happy to have you on the show and really appreciate all your time and consideration being on the show.
Thank you so much, Vishali. It's a huge honor to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me. Your show, honestly, is great. I watch a lot of episodes from it, and it's a true honor to be here. So I do thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm also looking forward to it because I'm also a lot more interested in the visualizations. So I'm also quite excited to see your visualization story as well as learn, because for the students definitely it is going to be the useful episode to learn how they can lead their area of expertise. So just to begin, our first section is
Exactly.
about passion and interest. So how did you find your passion in the data field and what steps did you take to pursue that passion, or what motivates you to be in this field?
Of course, of course. So it's funny actually because throughout my life, I've always had different career paths that I've always thought of. And, data science being heavily mathematical and statistical,
Mhm.
going back all the way into my adolescence, I never even thought that, I'd get into something like this, right?
Mhm.
Like early even in my university days, I was actually a marketing student, right? I thought I loved everything about marketing,
Uh-huh.
things like making campaigns, creatively making advertisements and stuff like that. And throughout my university, I think that I had a false sense about what I really wanted to get into. So whoever really asked me about marketing, I would always say stuff like, yeah, marketing is my passion.
Mhm.
I'd love to get into it. I love digital marketing, stuff like that. But I never felt it. And I never really did anything about it. I never took
Uh-huh.
action on it. I never created a campaign. I never really enjoyed, reading marketing books at times. They were really abstract to me.
Mhm.
And it was really about the final year in my undergraduate program where I was introduced to more analytics electives.
Mhm.
That's when I was first introduced to business analytics and data science and the whole data science process.
Uh-huh.
And immediately it was just a spark of real passion within me,
Mhm.
as in I can't even explain that. Just immediately I felt this click within my life that I thought that this is going to be my true field. And it really was something that I felt with inside of me, that's something where I can actually make a
Uh-huh.
tangible impact.
Mhm.
So it was about studying that first elective in which I studied analytics. And then from there, I took a lot more electives in analytics. And then eventually I graduated with undergraduate in business analytics. And then from there, it's just been an amazing journey of, getting into every tool that I can learn within data, doing, making an impact in the data science world. I mean, especially making a lot of these visualizations.
Mhm.
So it's really just a place where I found that I can make an impact. And I found that it's something that really brings out something within me to do when it comes to data science. I mean, with marketing, I couldn't do anything, but with data, like almost on a daily basis, I'm like working on a project or doing a visualization. or talking with people in data. And it really is, for the first time in my life, I could really say that I found my true passion, and that's something
Wow.
that I can never doubt myself on. So I think I found my true calling when it comes to data, and yeah, that's just pretty much been my journey. It's definitely been an exciting one.
Yes, yes, and that definitely is true actually. Sometimes, yeah, as you mentioned that explore the area, like try to understand the basics around it, and you'll find that okay, you would like to learn more. So it is like
Exactly.
developing that passion or developing that interest in that particular field starts with the exploration. So that is definitely true. And before we
Yeah.
move towards the next segment, actually, I would like to have the demonstration of your Google Trends visualization because that is a lot more
Sure.
like viral and
Sure.
people are talking a lot more on the social media platforms about it. So, are you ready to give the demonstration to the audience?
Sure. Sure. Let me share my screen.
Yep, sure. Thank you.
Are you able to see it?
Yes.
Let me just. Great. Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll start with some of the inspiration that I got from in the origin of this viz, and then I'll also explain the elements of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, just a brief origin on it. It was actually coming around the time of December, and I already finished a previous project of mine for data in which I posted, and it had a lot of good reaction, a lot of positive response online on the platforms that I'm on. And I was really thinking about the next project that I want to get into, because throughout, I could you could say my daily schedules, I'm always looking around, always being curious about stuff that I can visualize. It's really just a organic process. Like I'd be outside somewhere and I'd see something and I'd ask myself a question: How does that happen? Or is there any data on that? Or can I visualize that somehow? So that's how this came about. Is that I was really looking for a project that would summarize something about the year of 2020, whether that's something globally or something personally.
Uh-huh.
Um, with the one of the options that I had to summarize this year was actually doing was actually summarizing my Netflix data. I thought that maybe that could be a good project in which I could take the past months in which I've watched Netflix and different shows, and I can get that data and I can visualize my whole entertainment interests for the year of 2020. But then around that time that I was thinking about doing that project, then the Google Year in Search came out. And it was at that time that I really thought that this is a golden opportunity to really summarize the whole year. Because when I saw the report and I saw also their initial video on the year in search, uh, I also found that, because this is an annual thing that Google does, they release these reports annually to really show what the world has been doing in the year, where's the interest laying, what's the cultural impact of many world events. So I thought that this would be a wonderful project to really summarize the hectic and chaotic year of 2020. So that's when I went to the Year in Search report, their website, and I was able to download all the entire the entire history of the search of different search terms throughout the year, specifically relating to searches relating to people, cultural events, and worldwide newsworthy events. So I was able to collect all of that data, collate it, and then I thought that the best way to visualize it was to do it in Tableau with what is called a ridgeline chart or a joy plot. So what you're seeing in front of you, this whole chart is actually within the data world. It's actually called a joy plot or a ridgeline chart. And what that basically is that it visualizes certain dimensions across a time series where you can see all dimensions at once. So at the bottom, you could see, the timeline of 2020 from February 1st to December 1st. And then you can see the dimensions on the left side. And in the middle, you can see the history of the search term throughout the year. So I'll just also go into this a little bit, just to explain to everyone. So basically, again, this is just showing the most popular search terms for the year of 2020. Sorry, did I cut out there? Can you hear me?
No,
hear
I
me?
can
Is
hear.
everything
Yep.
fine? Like, is okay? Perfect, great. So basically, so for example, Kobe Bryant at the start of 2020, unfortunately, he passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately once his news came, everyone started searching it. So basically, that peak you can see right here is like it went from 0 to 100 within a couple of days because everyone around the world was searching about Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the same time, just about 2 months later, that is when the same time, just about 2 months later, that's when the pandemic started to hit. And then that's where you see these huge upticks in the coronavirus pandemic searches and coronavirus update, right? Because the whole world was just searching it. And
Mm-hmm.
then throughout the year, you just see similar searches like these. And one major thing that you can see is that a lot of the trends throughout 2020 were
Uh-huh.
influenced by coronavirus. So from February, when the pandemic hit, you can see coronavirus symptoms came along. Then people were searching coronavirus. Then people were searching
Mm-hmm.
updates on them, and then people were also searching this new variant, which was a hoax. I could say. I mean, it wasn't a hoax; it was a real thing, but it didn't really seem to be something that would be important on a large scale.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of the pandemic, obviously, all the university students were very concerned about their online classes. So Google Classroom was being searched, Zoom was being searched as well. It peaked right there. And unfortunately, many people around the world began to become unemployed. So that's why they were also searching this as well. And then the rest of them as well, like mask and stimulus checks, they're influenced by the pandemic. If we were to look into some like insights from this, you could see that. So, for example, uh, some searches that were constant throughout the year were searches such as TikTok, for example, because
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, it was a pretty good year for TikTok because during the pandemic more people were going online, and
Mm-hmm.
TikTok is a predominantly Gen Z platform, so it stayed pretty relevant throughout the year because a lot more people came onto the platform from other platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and even when I shared this visualization online, a lot of the people at the TikTok team, the C-suite team, like the head of marketing, the head of recruiting, they
Mm-hmm.
liked it as well. They actually shared it. They were actually quite they were quite happy in the fact that TikTok was performing so well throughout the year in terms of searches. Another constant trend throughout the year was also Tesla stock. Again, I'm not too much into the stock market, but I do follow Elon and the things that he says and the promises that he
Mm-hmm.
makes. So I would assume that Tesla remains strong in terms of their presence, and by certain countries. So, for example, the Indian Premier League (IPL), it's very popular in South Asian countries like Pakistan and India. So that was like such a mega event, and so many people were searching it that it completely influenced all the results that Google reported, because these are worldwide search terms, these are global
Mm-hmm.
search terms. So meaning so many people were searching IPL throughout the year, or at least in that time frame, that Google had to include it in a worldwide search. And then similarly, in the U.S., right? Obviously, there was that whole time of the U.S. election, Donald
Mm-hmm.
Trump, Joe Biden election results, and stuff like that. So the U.S. influenced it. And then the last search term, which was kind of relevant for the year of 2021, which we're hearing a lot these days as well, is the vaccine. I mean, people it peaked out in about March, February when the pandemic was here, and then it kind of trailed off. So yeah, that's pretty much what the visualization is about. It's really just showing all these trends and all these insights. And I did work. I mean, I did spend time on it when I was making it at the time that I posted. It's actually quite surreal because I really treated this as just another project of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I never knew that it would have such a huge, massive response on a global scale. I mean, millions of people viewed it. It was shared across all platforms, and there
Mm-hmm.
was such a huge response. It was featured on Tableau, so I really just couldn't imagine the huge response. So I mean, I really have to thank everyone
Mm-hmm.
who gave such a positive response to that. So yeah, that's pretty much what this visualization is about.
Yes, we can just go back to the speaker view actually. Then I can speak for you.
Yeah, sure. Should I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, you can just stop sharing. Thank you so much for this quick demonstration. The way I see it is that, when you are interested in any area, actually, try to keep finding the opportunity to explore and learn more and showcase your knowledge. So that's what I can see from the Roshan's visualization as well, because he got the interest into the data analytics field, and he was looking very active. It is being a proactive to learn more about that area. So that's how he landed up having this idea as well. And see, you can see the outcome as well, that it is a lot more popular now, and it has got a lot of attention from the people as well as the appreciation as well. So thank you so much, Roshan, and really well deserved. This is really a cool visualization, as well as I would say that well structured as well as clear to the audience, so that they can see that what are the popular trends, as well as the way you put the hierarchy as well. It starts with the year start and it ends with the year end. So it's like, what are the popular search terms searched in January till the end of December 2020. So thank you so much. And moving towards our next segment is a fun segment, which is like,
Thank you.
keep audience alive as well as engaged with the show. So I'm going to give you top keywords, actually,
Of course.
which are like the keywords from your profile, which are associated with your skill sets or the profile, like summarization. So you have to just tell me like a short definition or the abstract keyword or replacement keyword for that particular thing. So are you ready?
Of course. Yeah,
Thank you.
sure, of course.
Yeah. So the first word is data visualization. What comes to your mind?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is information. So when I think of the word data visualization, I really think that the whole point of data visualization is to convey insightful and genuine information, and it's always about exploring and discovering what is unknown or what is not known to people, and showing that to people in a meaningful and coherent and tacit way.
Mhm.
And I think that is one of the probably one of the most insightful methods that we have available to us to convey information in today's day and age with
Yeah.
the advancement of technology and whatnot. So when you say data visualization, information comes to my mind.
Yes, yes, and that's very true actually. When it comes to the data visualization, it should be more or like a structured information. So that is true. And next keyword is tableau. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear yes.
Yes. The second keyword is tableau.
Tableau. When you say tableau, fun is the word that comes to my mind. Honestly, because I've had so much fun in using Tableau to work on these projects. And honestly, the interface that Tableau has is so user friendly and it's very fun to use as well. More so than a lot of these other visualization platforms. I mean, if we look at Power BI, for example, or even if we look at something as simple as Excel, I mean, Tableau was built to be fun. Actually, the meaning of the word tableau itself is actually it's a French word that means picture or picturesque description. And
Mm-hmm.
I really think that Tableau as a company, they perfected their a visualization software that almost anyone can use. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally just drag and drop. You can open it up, and it's so intuitive. So, and it's very fun using it as well. I mean, it's always been inviting for me. So, and a lot of these projects have also been fun. So, yeah, that's pretty much what comes to my mind.
Yep, yep. And the third word is consulting.
Consulting. So, the word that comes to my mind would be lifestyle.
Uh-huh. That's a good one.
Again, because and it's a passion of mine. So, I think that when I consult to companies or businesses to them,
Hello.
hello, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So as I said before, as in when it comes to consulting, I really enjoy the lifestyle for it
Mm-hmm.
because the data itself is very. I'm very passionate about it, and I really enjoy. Uh, undertaking my own tasks within data science, especially in consulting. So if I'm with a company, then they allow access to their data in which I can analyze it, visualize it in a way that is most insightful to them. And I just really enjoy that lifestyle of just really being able to have a touch point with an array of companies and being able to use their data to help make their decisions for them or help them make their decisions with data. In the most recent consulting contract that I had, it was with Baskin Robbins. It just finished up as well.
Uh-huh.
And I really enjoyed it. I mean, we explored a lot about the ice cream industry here. I was able to help them in some of the decisions that they made with their data. I also helped them collect a lot of data, and I also analyzed it and visualized it with Tableau as well. So I really enjoyed the lifestyle that consulting provides. So yeah, that's
Yes, yes,
that's the word.
yes. Thank you so much, and you did pretty well actually to explaining your definitions as well. So thank you so much. Moving towards our next section is about exploring your career, work, and volunteering. So the first segment I'm going to touch is that your academic achievements. And when I came across your profile, I see like a bunch of achievements actually in the academics, which is like inspiring for every students out there who are looking to do well in their academics. So I'm going to mention a couple of here, which are like, you have six gold medalists, like you have six gold medal, one silver, one bronze, and you are placed on Dean's honor list of for all 8 semesters, ranked consecutively into top 3 students at fast 8 semesters. So how did you manage that actually during your academics, like keeping up to date with your knowledge and learning as well as keeping yourself top of everything?
So I think that as far as if I go back to, I think that there was a huge change when I entered the early phases of high school. That is when I started to be a little bit more academically inclined, and also quite a little bit competitive as well. But I don't try to be aggressively competitive, but I try to be competitive with myself, as in to really improve and make myself better each and every day. So throughout my high school years, I excelled there as well, and really tried to be more academically inclined. And when it came to university, I mean, that was just completely solidified my entire attitude, my personality, my orientation towards academics, and being a good student and learning a lot. So throughout all my undergrad journey, I just really took it seriously
Uh-huh.
because I thought that this was a huge opportunity that it's not that everyone has an opportunity to pursue education, or not everyone has an opportunity to really value their education. So I really thought that it was a huge blessing and a huge privilege. So I really took it seriously in all aspects of it, in terms of every subject, every grade that I got. And I think that it just naturally came about. So I mean, a lot of people even message me up until now, and they ask about, especially university students, about how to be a good student, or how to
Uh-huh.
academically achieve these days.
Mhm.
And I really think that it's just about setting that goal and having that serious attitude towards academics, to
Mhm.
really say to yourself that I have a huge opportunity to better myself, to make myself into something that I probably want to be. And not only that, but also be better for my family and my community. So I mean, I now feel that as an undergraduate, I'm able to be committed to the welfare of my family. And I
Mhm.
really think that down the road, I'll be able to find more interests or activities in which I could serve the community, and that too with data. I
Mhm.
mean, I've recently saw a lot of social causes that require, the help of data analysts and data scientists. And I really think that once you dedicate yourself to education, or you dedicate yourself to a purpose that requires you to obtain education, that you'll not only be able to make something of yourself, but you can make an impact in the world at large, or at least in your community. And it requires one person to do that.
Mhm.
And so I think that's what's always been driving me around my life.
Yeah. So a couple of things that I understood is that you said that commitment is required.
I mean, I have never had to doubt myself in my undergraduate journey. I've
Uh-huh.
really just had to stay committed to it.
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. Being
So
dedicated and just about being motivated for it.
yep. Yep. So, was it like a pure proactive work, or you got inspired by any teacher or the professor during your undergrad?
To be honest, I really think that yeah, there was definitely moments where I had touch points with a few professors that inspired me and it
Mm-hmm.
really pushed me to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And I really have to be thankful to all of those professors who always mentored me or pushed me to be
Mm-hmm.
better. And I think that every student, if there's any student out there who's in university, I would strongly advise that they do find a sensible professor that can really push them towards being, better or push them towards improving their skills or teaching them
Mm-hmm.
something. And because professors are an equal part of your academic journey as much as you are. So it's definitely been proactive. I mean, there was definitely those instances where you would have, those late nights and, sleepless nights,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's all a part of the effort.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just really being proactive about it, finding good mentors, and really just being dedicated to it.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
And I think it is truly motivational for the students actually. If you see his passion towards the area, or the way he tried to be a proactive during his undergrad or the graduate degree education, he did a lot of things, and the words that he mentioned actually, which were like a dedication, commitment towards it, and finding that interest actually first. That once you find that interest, definitely you'll find more opportunities to learn about that area more. So thank you so much, Roshan. And then the next question we have under that segment is, how do you keep balance between your academics and extracurricular activities?
I see. So I mean, I've had many opportunities to indulge in these extracurricular activities as well. People also also been students who reach out to me on this as well. And again, I think it really just goes back to having that commitment. But more so than that, I think that you really just have to find extracurricular activities that you think would make you passionate or you think interest you.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I'm a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing stuff in business. I love being connected to things in like talking about the economy or being connected to economics, things like
Uh-huh.
this. So the business world, the data science world, and the debating world as well as in public speaking. So there were a lot of opportunities to indulge in these activities throughout my academic career,
Uh-huh.
such as public speaking competitions, debating competitions,
Mm-hmm.
business competitions, and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. So I really think that you just have to find something that interests you, and there could be a wide variety of stuff that could interest any student. For example, there's a lot of theater or drama competitions. I mean, if you think that that's your thing, then I mean, that's something that brings the passion out of you, and you should go for that.
Uh-huh.
So as far as I'm concerned, I really think it didn't really require as much of a balance for me because I really enjoyed it. I was able to make
Uh-huh.
time for it. I was able to dedicate myself, go to these competitions,
Mm-hmm.
win many of them. And at the end of the day, it really contributes to how you grow as a professional. I mean, when I look
Mm-hmm.
back on it, I don't just look back on, the victory or the achievement. I also look back on how it's, made me grow because I definitely learned something from each of those competitions. So I would definitely encourage any university student or anyone in academia to not just be dedicated to education, but also go outside your university corridors and find an event, find something that interests you,
Yeah.
and that you can be dedicated towards outside of the institution.
Yep. Yep. And definitely, as it is said that a person should have at least one hobby, because we are not only talking about the career journey, it is about the life journey as well. So when we think about we are satisfied in our career journey, you should have something that keeps you going as well. So along with the academics, extracurricular is also important because you can build the networking, you can explore other areas, as well as you can find that hobby as well. It is not required that every passion or the every hobby that you have, you convert that into your career choice. But it's always good to
Exactly.
have multiple things going on in your life along with your passion. So thank you so much. One more
Yeah.
question we have under that is that you have done a couple of internships actually. So how do you see importance of the internships in your career journey, and any favorite project that you did as a part of internship and would you like to share with the audience?
Of course, of course. So, I mean, again, as far as internships or even getting stuff like articleships or apprenticeships, I really think
Mhm,
that they are a perfect transitional opportunity for students to bridge the gap
mhm,
between the corporate world and academia. I know a lot of students who, I mean, I suppose that they doubt or they don't see the value in internships. And I've always questioned that because a lot of these opportunities give these
mhm,
students the ability to go into the corporate world and really experience what it is like, but more so experience the practical side of the corporate world as well, as
mhm,
to come out of academia, come out of studying the textbook, and really connect the ideas that they have to things that are happening in the corporate
mhm.
world.
Yeah.
So in the internships that I've done, I mean, I've done it in an array of places. I've done one in banking, one in the foods industry, and one in the consulting industry. And each one, again, I've learned something different from each one. And it's always been progressively contributive to who I am today. And I would never take away any of those experiences with
Uh-huh.
respect to the people that I've met or the work that I've done. And it's always been a huge opportunity to just have those chances to go out and experience something. As far as probably one of the favorite ones that I have, I
Uh-huh.
think probably one of the favorite ones that I have is when I was working in the foods industry. I was working at this one corporation. It's called Fodgy Fresh and Freeze. Actually,
Mhm,
they're a national foods company within our country. They have a lot of
mhm,
leading brands nationally, and they also have pretty significant market shares. And I was actually working in their international division, in which they,
mhm,
deal with imports and exports of food items.
mhm,
And I really had a chance to do a lot of data analysis there. So I was, analyzing a lot of um, exports and imports of international food items. I was preparing these analytical reports. I created dashboards for the insights that I generated. So it
mhm,
was definitely a great opportunity, and I learned so much from being there. And
mhm.
likewise, a lot of students these days would have the same benefit if they pursue a lot of these opportunities. So yeah, I really think that it's a huge, it's not something to be wasted. It's something that people
Mhm.
should be grateful for.
Yep, yep. That is very valid point actually. During the internship, you get that idea of how real projects work, irrespective of the academics. Academics, it is more about understanding and making your foundation firm. But when it comes to real projects, it is required that you get that kind of experience, how organizations work, how you have to work in a team, and how you have to execute the project. So this is kind of a processes that you learn, obviously, along with your, academic expertise, whatever you learned in academics. So thank you so much, Roshan. And we are moving towards our next section, which is about tips and advice. And you can support your answer with specific books and courses as well. So, any tips or advice would you like to give to the students or professionals who are in their early career, who wants to pursue their passion in this specific field and looking this as their long-term career option?
Of course, of course. So I really think that I mean a lot of people they also reach out to me about how do we get in this field and what can we do or what are the skills to be learned and
Mhm,
stuff like that. And I really think, and I've always said this before, when you're getting into data science, don't just jump immediately into the complexity of a lot of things. So a lot of
uh,
people they're standing in front of like, they're about to enter into the field and they say, you know what, I really want to jump right into
uh-huh,
machine learning and deep
yep.
learning.
Mhm,
And these are things that are quite complex. They require a lot of experience
mhm,
and they also require academic qualification.
mhm,
Now, that's not to say that you can't learn it. I'm not saying that you can't learn it or you can't experience something like that. But that is definitely something that is complex. I mean, a lot of the top data scientists in the United States, for example,
uh-huh,
they're all PhDs, or at least a lot of them are at least graduate degree holders.
mhm,
And if not that, they do have experience. So I
mhm,
really think that the number one thing that people should focus on is if they're going into data science, first experience, dealing with data, analyzing it,
mhm,
visualizing, extracting insights, working with different tools around data. And that's something that will establish your base. And then you can move into more complex things
Uh-huh.
of machine learning, whether you want to learn that by yourself or whether you want to take on a degree. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, of course, there's a variety of skills to be learned within
Uh-huh.
the industry, and there's a plethora of literature that describes those skills. Tools such as SQL, Python, Tableau, all that. So I think people would, they have a huge repository of information that they can refer to when it comes to the
Mhm.
skill. But what I caution people a lot, and this is the second thing that I'm trying to say, is that don't focus too much on the hard skills. The hard skills will always come to you. I
Mhm.
mean, you can learn Tableau literally within 2 or 3 weeks, even less than
Mhm.
that, if
Yep,
you
yep.
just
Mhm.
visualize your own projects. Python could also come easy to you if you're doing simple data tasks, literally within a month or so. Same goes for SQL. I mean, these are all things that have
Mhm.
been created by human beings from the same brains that we have ourselves. So these hard skills, they will come to you. So what you need to do is actually put hard skills to the side, do make a routine of learning them. But really what's important is these soft skills. And I don't see a lot of emphasis on soft skills these days. So the number one soft skill is communication. You really
Mhm.
need to be able to communicate the data that you're analyzing. If you have insights or if you have some sort of analysis, you really have to tell people who don't know anything about data, who have no
Mhm.
technical background, that
Mhm.
what this data means or what is the implications of this data. And you have to do it well. You have to craft a story. You have to really evoke emotion into it.
Mhm.
So that's the number one skill within that. The other skill or the soft skill that I would say is you really need to be curious. You have to have that curiosity that drives that initial thinking of, how do we solve this problem? Or how do we work on this business scenario?
Mhm.
Or is there any data on this issue that I could shed more light on? So
Uh-huh.
it's really about, communicating well, having that curiosity. And lastly, I would say in terms of soft
Mhm.
skills, the last skill that I would say is that you really need to be patient. I mean, not only patient in learning the skills, but you have to be patient in working with data. I mean, there's been times where I would be working on a problem for days at end. I'd probably be cleaning a data set for days at end because, again, in data science, 80% of the job is just cleaning data, to be honest.
Yes, yes.
So you have to be patient with it. There's been days where I've been working on one problem and I do feel frustrated or if I feel burned out, and I mean, you can't have any quitter attitude. You really have to be patient about it, really establish yourself with the data that you're working with. Be patient in solving problems, be patient in getting data and analyzing it, and just be patient overall throughout your life. Patience
Yeah.
is that's basically the pathway that I would say that one you need to go into data.
Yep, yep. So patience is the key. That is very true actually, whether it comes to your career journey or the life journey. Any technology that you're involved in actually, or any area you're involved in, things take time to stabilize. Everything doesn't come like handy, and you have to start from the scratch. So definitely patience is
Exactly.
one of the keys to pursue what you want to. And we are moving towards end of the this show, which is the leadership. So you already found your way towards the leading your area of expertise. So what is your leadership style, or what kind of a leader you would like to be, and any specific leader that you always follow or admire, and why?
So yeah, I mean, this is also quite interesting because I've never really thought of myself a leader a few years back. I mean, I always thought that that's something that I would probably experience later on in my life. And as far as the data science industry is concerned, at least within my country, because I think that I've solidified myself as one of the top voices for data science within my country. And uh, with that comes a lot of responsibility because, a lot of people reach out to me on a daily basis asking for help, asking for advice. And they really are, I mean, in their own journey, at times they get lost about what to do, what not to do, how do they get a job, how do they go further into data. And I really feel
Uh-huh.
that it's a privileged position of leadership to be able to lead or guide people into the
Mhm.
industry or influence their thoughts.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's something that I never thought would happen to me. But as far as some of the interactions that I've had with people, over the past several months, I
Mm-hmm.
really think that I've just been focused on, helping a lot of other people to come to the industry and helping them grow. And I think that that's probably as far as my career has been up to this point. I think that's at the foundation of leadership. That as
Mm-hmm.
long as you invest yourself into other people's growth, not only do you grow, but they will grow as well. And I really think that if you are able to help or guide people to
Uh-huh.
what they want to get done or the stuff that they want to do, I think that's at the essence of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that it's just on this basis of really just interacting with people and helping them and advising them.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a specific leader is concerned, I really don't think that I have developed or I have had some sort of affinity for a specific role model yet. I
Uh-huh.
think that maybe that's something that has yet to come. But
Mm-hmm.
I do know that, I mean, for me, I mean, this might seem a little bit corny, at least for me, my mother has always been a good leader to me,
Uh-huh.
my parents and whatnot. So I really think that they serve as a role model to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some of the leadership qualities that I would adapt.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's only at the core of that is really just helping people, getting to where they want to be, being in that privileged position, and really guiding them. And at the end of the day, that's a blessing that only few people have to be in that position. So yeah, I think that's what my leadership
Yeah,
style is.
that's definitely true actually. Service leadership is something that people always admire. So thank you so much for. So that's about Roshan Khan and the way he found his way to lead his area of expertise. Before we close, I'm going to read out a quote which says, most strong leaders have a combination of all these qualities, separating them from the crowd and encouraging others to look to them for direction. But one thing is certain, a leader is not defined by age, and embracing young people as leaders can drive innovation and productivity. Hope audience you will enjoy this episode, and on that quote we are closing it. See you in the next episode. Until we meet, happy leading. Let's lead together. Stay safe. Bye for now.